I'm here with women's rowing interim head coach Kelly Harris. Your team was in a bit of a different situation since COVID-19 cancelled a season that hadn't really started. How did you relay the message to the team that you would not be returning to the water in April, and how did they react?
So we were actually in the midst of finals when we received the news, and we had just had one of our final team practices on the Wednesday before the news came on Friday. And I think throughout that week, we really thought that we might have a shot at still going on our spring break training trip. But as the week progressed, it became really clear that, it was going to be necessary for the decisions to be made. We were really disappointed that we didn't get the chance to head into our spring season. I think mostly for our 4 seniors, it hit home really hard. We ended up meeting as a full team at the boathouse one last time. We had pizza and just talked about how we were going to move forward and the things that we were going to miss and what we had actually gained in the months and weeks that we had been training to head into the spring.
How had the fall gone, and what were the team's goals heading into the spring?
I think our fall speed was not indicative of where we were headed for the spring season. I think we got a slow start in the fall. Some of our goals that we had set for the spring season about 2 weeks before we received the news were things like getting every boat into the grand final at the Ivy League Championship. We also had the goal of retaining the Parents' Cup against Cornell and bringing home at least 2 medals from sprints. We also had some process-oriented goals, things like visualization as a boat, having a focus, a race plan, improving our race mentality and preparation and execution from the first race to the last race of the season. I think these were really attainable, achievable goals based on where we were. I think that the transition from fall to winter was a really good one, and the progress we made on the ergs, as well as on the moving water tanks, I think was definitely going to set us up for some success this spring.
The much-awaited Boathouse edition was completed late last year. Can you talk about how that new space and those moving water tanks helped you better train in the winter?
So the moving water tanks were definitely a critical piece to our training this winter. We often combined time on the tanks with time on the ergs, and being able to actually have our hands on an oar handle was going to prepare us very well going into the spring. The space in general, having more ergs, having the tanks, that was just really important for all 3 squads to be able to train better, train more effectively, train more often as we were embarking upon the spring season.
How have you been staying in contact with the team during quarantine?
We've been staying in touch with the team pretty frequently through team meetings on Zoom. We actually started another sort of fun activity, having a team journal through a Google Doc. They just want to share what they're doing or talk about, things they're maybe frustrated with, or just journaling. We thought that might be kind of a neat way for them to stay connected. We've also connected some of our former alums with our current junior class through an alumni mentoring program. We've really tried to find a balance, I think, between supporting them as best as possible, but also not overwhelming the team while they're trying to adjust to this new normal of online classes. And I think they all know how to be an athlete, and we've sort of said at this time, just do your best to be an athlete every day. So we've really focused more on connecting and sharing and encouraging them to connect with each other and their families during this difficult time.